Shalom. First, I give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. And they're just getting into what's the climate in the air, man. You know, this is a video coming right at you. Letting you know, hey, man, we're in the latter days, Jake. You know, when I mean Jake, I'm talking about you so-called Negro Latinos and so-called Native Americans, man. We are in the fucking last days of this empire collapsing, man. Babylon's done, man. There's no more trying to, get this place patched back up, man. The bankers are closing this place down. And they got this devil, DJ T, at the helm, man. As you can see the title from this article, it says Trump open to invoking the Insurrection Act. Why? Because you got these protesters in Portland, Chicago, in LA. They're bucking up against the government, man. Rioting, fighting, throwing bricks, things of that sort. So Trump is thinking about, go ahead and using that Insurrection Act. To quell the violence. And the protesting, because he just said a week ago, he told his generals and admirals, prepare for war. And that war is going to be in these urban cities. And it's going to come to the country area, the countrysides, the towns. So martial law is here, man. This is a soft martial law. All they need now is some kind of event, to lock this place down, man. And you're going to watch the prophecies heat up, speed up in 4K, man, 5K in real time. So that it ain't no time to be thinking about getting a new business, starting a business. You want to make it to the NBA. You want to try to make it in the NFL. Yeah, you still aim to do that because nobody knows the time, the day, or the hour of the return of Yahweh Shai. And we don't know how long this can go on. But you put that on the back burner, though, man. You got to start getting closer to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai before it's too late. Because we're coming up on that too late phase, man. Eventually, martial law is going to be declared, man. And these troops are going to be out on the street, ready to mow you down. I was already jokingly, with the Marines today. I had a delivery over at the Marine base. Gauging, Jake being Jake. I was like, hey, man, y'all ready to get out here in these streets, start mowing us down, right? And then one of the other Jakes, he chimed in. He was like, pretty much. He's like, if he could get, he said he ain't going to do it for the same amount of money he getting. He said they're going to have to give him like $300-400 more. He said he'd get out there and do it. And I was like, damn. These troops, man, they ready. And Jake was like, hey, I said, well, when you see me out there in them streets, if you see me, don't forget about me, man. I said, just look the other way if you see me. He said, all right, yeah, I'm gonna do that. He said, but when you hear me say, get out the way, get out the way. I said, hey, I'm a fast learner, bro. Just tell me one time, I'll catch on quick. He said, so in other words, he's like, just when he said get out the way, because he letting it loose after that. He's starting spraying. So he don't give a damn about you civilians, man. And I'm talking to a guy in the Marines, today. So, hey, these guys, man, these troops, they ready for war, man. Whether it's a foreign or domestic, man, they ready to get it cracking. And if they get a couple dollars to do it, they gonna do it. They are gonna do it. So hey, we in the latter days, man. We in the latter days. Because America turns 250 years next year. And they say the average empire lasts about 250 years. But we're going to get a little bit into this article. It says President Donald Trump on Monday said he would consider using the Insurrection Act to deploy the military if federal courts prevented him from deploying the National Guard to protect federal buildings and conduct law enforcement operations. So you thinking he's doing this just because? No, because he got his orders from the bankers, man, from his handlers, saying, hey, the currency is damn near done, man. The dollar is damn near dead. They getting their digital currencies online. They ready for the new world order, man. The new money system. You know, they're getting their new money system online. And they got to get you acclimated to seeing troops in the streets. Why? Because they going to be rounding you niggas up, man. You so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're going to get rounded up. And just like these Edomites and these other heathens, they going to get their asses rounded up too, man. You know, but first, it's going to come after Jake. You know, like always. It always start with the Israelites, man. They just gonna move to the heathens. So prophecy is unfolding right before our eyes, man. You know, there's nothing can be done to put this back in the bottle. The ball is rolling, and you're gonna get steamrolled. You're gonna get rolled on if you don't have Yahweh Shem Yahushua in your corner, man. If you don't have the Most High, you know, it's a strong tower, man. Because that's the only way you're going to make it out of Jacob's trouble. Martial law, man. That's the only way. You know, you can say, oh, you know, if the troops come down the street, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, this, that, and the third. But the Most High already got that figured out, man. He got all that factored in. You know? The scriptures speak about how these troops gonna be like mad men. You know, like mad men, sparing none. So every Israelite they see, every so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, so-called Negro they see, man, they are going to kill you, man. They not gonna put a few niggas and a few wetbacks to the side, man. You know, if they see you, it's on sight, man. It's on sight. And like I said, it ain't no, you know, if they see you, they're going to see you, and they're going to kill you, man. You know, but the elect, you know, don't have to worry about that so much, man. You know, the elect is going to be okay in the time of trouble, Jacob's trouble. You know, the 1/3, but you 2/3, you're going to suffer a horrific, you know, agonizing death, man. Whether it's from the sword, which the modern day sword is the gun, you know, the famine, the wild beast. You know, you don't have any idea what Yahweh Shem Yahushua got in store for the 2/3, man. You can't wrap your mind around how much he wants to do you some bad, man. You know, you don't have any idea how he wants to just fucking end your life, man, and send you to the spirit world. But a lot of you gonna get to experience that here in America, Babylon, man, firsthand. Let's get some precepts. Because Jake, you had all kind of warnings, and Jake just don't believe nothing stinks, man, until it hit him in the face. You just won't get it. And that's Jake, man. Jake is always the last to get it. But this time, by the time you realize that you done fucked up, it's gonna be too late, man. You're gonna be in the spirit world. Let me see if I can find it here. I could be overlooking it. I'm trying to drive and scroll through the precepts at the same time, man. Let's go to second address 16 and 70. It says, for there will be in every place and in the cities a great lucky on that, man. Esau a damn merchant, man. He always trying to sell you something. But let's get into it, man. This is 2nd Address 16 and 70. But that should be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Most High. And there's going to be a big insurrection on you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. It's going to be a big insurrection. You're going to be the prime target, man. You're going to be, public enemy number one, man. And Jake, for the most part, fear Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Jake can say they prayers, say they grace or something like that. Or, they'll do the whole Hail Mary cross or something like that, It says, for that should be in every place and in the next cities. So you're not going to be able to escape this insurrection that's coming to you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. There's going to be no escaping here in Babylon unless you leave out of the country right now. You're going to be targeted. You're going to be murdered. You're going to be killed. And you're going to be thrown in mass graves because this man know if he have roughly paraphrasing, have a short time, man. He has a short time, and he's going to come down with a great wrath. And that wrath is on you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans because Esau Edom wants his birthright. He wants it. He can't be a man and just say, I effed up, and I'm gonna let my brother Jacob have it. I sold it to him, but no. But Esau Edom, he's the original renigger, man. The first documented renigger. He reneged on the deal, man, and he wants it back. And he see you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. That's the problem. And he figure if he can get rid of y'all, that the Most High deal with him. That goes to show you how stupid he is, man. How dumb. Like the Most High don't see him. Verse 71. They shall be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Most High. Yeah, they're gonna spoil your goods, spoil your women, and whatever you got. And you know Esau, Edom, man, they gonna spoil your kids too. You know, they like to play with children. So they're gonna spoil that and take whatever you got. You know, they're gonna kill you, take your items, your belongings, and throw you in a pile. You know? They're going to throw you in a pile, man. And it says in every place and in the next cities, they're going to go from town to town, city to city, looking for you Israelites. The 2/3 of the nation of Israel. You know, so you can't say you've been warned. And as you see, Trump is thinking about declaring the Insurrection Act. Because there's going to be an insurrection all over the country, man. All over Babylon, all over America. There's going to be an uproar and people going at each other. You know, civil war, race war. It's going to be Mad Max 4.0 out here, man. And these troops are going to be put on the street to calm the bullshit down, to quell the violence, man. And they're going to use lethal force. And as you see, Trump already authorized lethal force. You know? So he's doing the bidding of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to get ready for war for you so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans and the rest of Americans. You know, the rest of the heathens. But as you see, man, this is it, man. This is fucking it, bro. There's no more wondering, you know, if this the end or this, that, and the third, or maybe. Man, we're in it, man. We're in martial law. We're in the Civil War. And a low-key race war brewing, man. So, hey, man, you can keep playing around, not wanting to serve you. How about Shim Yahushua? And you're gonna find yourself on the wrong side of this, man. You're gonna on the bad end of this truth. You know? But you know, I pray this video was edifying to the sincere Yakim, man, the elect. Hey, hang on, don't lose patience. You know, hey man, we almost out of here. You know, before I get out of here, we give all praise and glory to Yahweh. Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Shalom.